Oh man. Oops. I didn't mean to hit record, but I'm here. Okay, I'll make this one a lightning quick one. The mass shootings. Is it a lizard or is it a gizzard? The question is, what causes these mass shootings? Is anybody out there has anybody out there heard of a good proposition as to what on earth is going on here? Or is it my assumption, okay, that people know what causes these shootings, but they don't necessarily want to admit to it? They suspect it, they sense it, but they don't exactly want to open up to it. So they kind of find other reasons or other issues to blame it on. Could that be the situation? Because I don't know, I kind of feel that that's what it is, because we have political reasons that are being pushed, but I don't think people necessarily really believe in, I don't think people necessarily believe in the stuff that they're saying, you know, that they're pushing. I know the left is touting guns, right? Saying that it's because of the guns, you know. But it's funny because the left is the one that likes to put a lot of guns in their movies, a lot of shoot 'em up movies and violence. So it's weird that they would really come up with that argument. Isn't it kind of like a contradiction or hypocrisy? And then what do the conservatives say? They blame it on video games, right? On the violence within the culture. But last time I checked, they contribute to all those shoot 'em up movies as well, right? So what's the deal? I think it's a lot of hypocrisy. I think it's a lot of, well, the Christian stance is that it's really sin. And sin is progressive. And sin grows, metastasizes. In the culture, we've been seeing just about every segment of society, every sin known to man has been up the charts, right? On a global scale, not just in the nation, in terms of our culture, how more violent it has become, you know, everything. We can see it. If we look at footage of programs and movies, commercials, just about everything that records what the culture was like, you know, even 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Just go down the line. Anything that could be recorded from the past, you can obviously see. And when you say, okay, it was the video games, that's not a cause. That might be more like a symptom. That's as a result of that, you know, it's a whole chain of events, chain reactions. It's kind of the tremblings before the earthquake that knocks down a mountain, right? So that you're seeing the effects of something, and the effects is not the cause. The effects of pornography, or the cause of the effects of pornography, is the cause of a sexual revolution, right? And freedom, the increase, the changes within the culture, right? So the same with the video games have gotten, we've gone pretty far from Pac-Man to, all of these shoot 'em up type stuff that we've seen. Some of them I've seen one that's out in the open, many that just straight up shoot human beings and just, shoot them in the head and their brains squirt out, and the stuff that slips on by, even though you say, well, that's meant for adults, and sure, it's meant for adults, but that any adult would want to see that or play with that, or even revenge porn, and that any adult would want something like that, regardless of it's behind closed doors. The fact that whether you want to argue it or not, the fact that someone would want something like that, or want to watch a movie where people are getting killed and massacred, and a murder happening on a screen every 5 minutes, whether you want to argue, that's my argument. The fact that anyone who would want to see that, something wrong. It says something about the culture when these things are award-winning, when they take high precedent, in the culture. So my thing is, like, it's obvious. It's obvious, that it's just a degradation of the culture, the degradation of humanity that is ever on the increase within the progressive culture. Okay? And, that to me is really the causation of what you see as these mass shootings, the anger, the unresolvedness, the mental illness. Resolved issues are known to cause mental dysfunction. Deep depression causes delusions and schizophrenic type states, right? Psychosis and paranoia. And we see this, and traumas in people's lives cause a lot of messed up things in the culture and society, and so, like I said, the degradation causes a lot of these things, and so here you have it, so the video games or the porn or the this or the that are results of the problem. Okay, and the shoot 'em up, the mass shootings, again, is the symptom of a bigger cause, a bigger issue, a bigger problem. Just like the video games. So when you make an argument, I heard Crowder make an argument about, how silly it is to blame these things on video games. Well, he was saying that that's what politicians were saying, but politicians really don't know how to put into words a lot of the things that are really troubling society as it is. They've never been really good at doing that in the first place. So it's really not that. It's really, what it really is that these shootings are a symptom of a greater problem. And that greater problem is the lack of spirituality, the emptiness inside that can only be filled by knowing, first of all, who God is, and knowing who you are. Who you are, where you're coming from, where you're going, and so forth and so on. So that's really the problem at hand. Okay? So anyway, that's my cue, and off I go. Thanks for joining True News 16. God bless, and until next time, see you when I see you.